Welcome back to episode 12 of my Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup playthrough as a demonspawn enchanter of Rue. I'm thinking I might stop announcing which episode it is at the beginning of the episode. I'm not really sure. You know, it says so in the title, and if I don't say it, I won't have to remember it, and I can just sort of dive right into the next recording without having to go back and check how many episodes I've done. So I was just looking around to see if we'd found like Azukubu's armor, which is a great spell for giving you extra armor if you're a character who isn't wearing heavy armor, which we like basically can't do. We promised Rue we wouldn't train armor, and you can wear heavy armor, but if you're not training it, there's not much point. So we finished up the dungeon, and I think it's time to head over to Spider now. The only thing I miss is I would like to have a source of clarity. There are some guys in Spider who can confuse you, and clarity prevents that. So that would be nice, but it doesn't look like we have any options there. And we should be all right without it, really. You just have to play a little more carefully, or be willing to drink a potion of curing on occasion, which, like, we have 7 of. Should be fine. I thought I finished this floor, but there seems to be a lot of stuff left. I don't know. I sense a monster. Is there any scary stuff on this floor? Roxanne. So, okay. That's not what this is. She can't move. Which reminds me, though, I do want to annotate Dungeon 11. And let's say 12 as well. I'm just going to put a little annotation on the level to remind me to pay attention when I walk into those places. Because there's a few scary monsters wandering around, and I don't want to get caught unaware. So no, don't enter this level just yet. Was there a ghost here when we left? No, so there's probably not a ghost here now. Yes, enter the level. All right, there's a ghost. Forget it, we're going back downstairs. And we'll just take a different staircase. Is Gastronach up these stairs? No. All right. So that's sort of the kind of... I'm just trying to encourage myself to pay a little bit more attention when I walk into a floor with something known to be frightening on it. And we still really don't have a way to deal with Hydras, so we're just going to keep avoiding those guys. We won't find any in Spider, which is nice. Ow! What the heck is going on? I got hit with an Orb of Destruction, so that hurt a lot. I'm going to Stair Dance. Oh, okay, I forgot. If you don't have good armor, the stuff in Spider is no joke. There's a lot of them, and they hit pretty often. They don't hit very hard, so if you have good armor, you sort of get used to thinking of them as a joke. But we are not in that fortunate position of having lots of armor. We just have to avoid their attacks, and our evasion is not great. I mean, 20 is good, but it's not, like, fantastic. So, I mean, I don't know, Spider-Man. Maybe, Spider-Man. No, I just mean, like, maybe Spider is not the place for us right now. Maybe we should do Shoals first. I don't know. Orb spiders are ranged enemies. And unlike most ranged enemies in the game who are like sort of willing to charge at you, because it would be sort of unfun, like centaurs. If centaurs were to kite you, like they're just too fast. You could never catch them. It would be like super unfun, and it would make them way harder. So centaurs will sometimes walk towards you instead of away from you. Orb spiders are one of the few enemies who try to keep their distance from you. And this is because the spell they cast does more damage the further away it is, so it's like not very interesting if they charge toward you. And they're super fast, so if they charge toward you, they would be next to you all the time. But anyway, their spell, like, it takes a while. It's not an instant projectile like most of them. It takes a while to traverse the space, and you can sort of try to dodge it, but it's hard because it's quite fast. So here's Donald. He's a fun guy. He's actually kind of an homage to Donald Duck, I guess, and he's complaining about things all the time. And he says, depending on like what race you are and what branch you find him in and what god you worship and so on, he has different comments to say. So what do we do about Donald? All right, well that seems to have woken him up. Can he see invisible? No. All right, so neither can most of these spiders. So that's sort of like our game plan here, is to just be invisible and kill things. Even this Emperor Scorpion, which is one of the most powerful monsters in the spider nest, in terms of like just direct physical hand-to-hand combat. Emperor Scorpions are probably the strongest. 2 of them, huh? So they can't see invisible, which means it's a big help to be invisible when you're fighting them. Ow, gosh darn it. I just need to isolate one, I think. So let's go upstairs. I got caught in a web. Let me out of the web, please. Ow, let me out. Okay, wow, we are, this is awful. I sort of thought I could just get out of here. I can't drink a potion. I'm quite badly poisoned. How lethal? Quite lethal. So we're gonna need a potion, or actually just a rue. This is gonna be a super bad way to die if that's what happens. And I think we're going to need to rely on draw out power to get out of this. I think we're going to be taking too much damage from poison. We're going to be stuck in the you can't use scrolls state. This web I got caught in was a real problem. So the question is, do I try to blink out? When you're in a web, blinking can fail. Or I could use fear to try to scare the Emperor Scorpion away. I'm going to look some stuff up real quick. Sorry it's not on screen. I don't really have a good setup for that. So they're somewhat resistant to magic, as it says there. They have reasonable hit dice as well. And they're brainless. They might actually be immune to fear, honestly. I'm not really sure. So I guess I'm going to try blinking. And if we get away, we might still be dead. This went south a lot faster than I really expected. Okay. We got out of the web. And I think we just need to wait for draw out power to be available. If that happens before we die. Do I have any wand I can use, like, that would help? Ugh. Any... I can't drink all these potions that would just address the problem completely. And I don't think I have anything else. I just need to, every turn, check whether I'm not exhausted or if I can drink potions again. This is quite embarrassing. I think I'm about to die. I could try to cast regen, I guess. I'm not very good at it, but if it works... Yeah, great. So if I had thought of that earlier, I might have been able to cast it successfully, and I might have lived. So I might have been able to get out. Oh, yeah, great. So that next turn, I could have... see, I said I feel less exhausted. I could have used draw out power, and that would have been enough to survive easily. You know, and if I'd thought about it earlier, I could have maybe used regeneration. Actually, I think I might have killed myself by casting regeneration because it cost me 3 hit points. You know, because my magic is the same as hit points. I stopped and I evaluated all my options, but I didn't think hard enough about. You know, I found something that looked like a lifeline and I just grabbed it, and I needed to think more about the consequences of using regen, which is that it costs me 3 magic. And I'm pretty sure if I had those 3 magic points back, the poison would have hit my magic instead of my health, and I wouldn't quite be dead, and then I could draw a power this turn. And then I would have survived. So, I mean, that's sort of how Crawl goes. I really shouldn't have died there. I underestimated the threats in Spider, and in particular, there were 2 Emperor Scorpions in Spider 1, which is a lot earlier than you usually run into them. But I even underestimated the smaller threats. So it's disappointing to die here. This character, he had enough interesting stuff that he had a chance of winning if I had played him better. But it's important to sort of keep your cool here and think about what happened to you and how you can prevent that from happening next time. Every death is a lesson. And if it's a character you were really attached to, it can be quite a disappointment. And it's okay to take a break, you know. I've, you know, had a character where I died and I just felt sick about it. I don't even remember anymore which one it was. The deaths all blur together now. But you know, I needed a break for a little while. This character I feel all right about. I mean, it was a tough character. I got him through the early game into a place where I had to go runing, and I wasn't very well set out for any rune branch, but my character should have been able to handle Spider, and I just I didn't play him very well. So I need to not underestimate threats. I don't have as much armor as I'm used to having. And pay more attention to when the situation is going sour. Get out of it sooner. You know, I tried to isolate one Emperor Scorpion to fight it, but in doing so I used up my Rue Exhaustion, which is supposed to be my main escape ability. I used my escape ability to get into combat, and then I didn't have it to get out. So that's a mistake I've made a couple of times with Rue, is just everything seems too easy, and you can afford to be profligate with your resources like that. But then sometimes, you know, bad stuff happens. So that's Crawl. You die sometimes, and it shows you your whole inventory, including stuff you hadn't identified yet. So I'm probably going to start a new character in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to put that in a new video. Maybe make a new playlist out of it? I'm not really sure. Pretty soon, I'm also going to be playing a tournament game on my main account. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and forth between those or something, but I'll probably actually play a few practice games first with the actual character that we have to play in the tournament. So that was it. That was a whole game of Crawl. Lasted a fairly long while, and we didn't get to the end. Oh well. Maybe next time. It was still a fun game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.